Am I in the wrong for emailing my fiance's dad about her DNA results? I, 35 male, secretly emailed my fiance's 31 female biological father, who is adopted and has no links to his real family, to inform him that his family had been found through her 23andMe test results. 3 years ago, she bought 23andMe tests for us, her parents, mom and stepdad, and my parents. This was a deeply meaningful gift because my 5 older brothers have tormented me all my life with claims that I was adopted or that our dad wasn't my dad since I don't look like anyone else in the family. I'm tall with red hair, so it really healed an old wound to get definitive proof that our parents are both my parents. What we weren't expecting was for the results of her biological father's family to show up. She wasn't expecting to find many familial connections because she's first-generation American. Initially, there was a third cousin connection on her paternal side, and over the last couple of years, it's grown into a practical family tree. I knew that she had stopped speaking to her dad over 10 years ago because the most he did for her was sporadically remember to call her on her birthday. She explained her reasons for not wanting to give him the information, but that honestly didn't sit well with me. I tracked down her dad's email address in her contacts list and sent him a list of his known relatives. I completely forgot about it until her mom saw a social media post about him finding his family and told my fiance. She was very emotional as she told me about the phone call with her mom, but said she was happy for him. She made a comment about how we didn't have anything to do with it, so I confessed to what I had done. She was furious, and this has created a major issue in our relationship. Am I in the wrong for sending her dad, who's adopted, her test results that identified his biological family? My wife asked me to choose between my mom and her, and I think I'm gonna divorce her. A little background. My mom and dad were both orphans. My dad died 2 weeks before I was born. My mom didn't really have a support system, so we were just the two of us. I never lacked for anything because my mother worked all of her life to give me the life that I have today, and didn't have time for herself to start a new life again. She did all the little jobs possible so that we didn't miss anything. She deprived herself of food to give me food. I had very good clothes while she had none. I saw her make sacrifices again and always with a smile. Frankly, I always thought that she was an angel dressed in a human body. The only time she yelled at me was when I was 16 when I saw her getting sick and working at the same time. But she was angry and told me it was not my job to take care of her, and it was up to her to take care of me. She wanted me to get really good grades and get into the best universities. It's the only way I can protect myself when she can't anymore. Even at university, she didn't want me to work. I had to be focused on my studies, but she wanted me to volunteer so that I could be an adult who could do something with his hands. My wife and I met there while we both volunteered. My wife is a good person, but she was never close to her parents or her siblings. Yet she adored my mother since she met her. There were times when I thought that she loved my mother more than she loved me, and we laughed about it. Deep down, I think she was looking for the bond between mother and daughter that she did not have from her mother. When I finished my studies, I found a job, we moved in together, but she wasn't comfortable that I called my mom every day. Remind you, those are 10 to 15 minute calls. But eventually she stopped bringing it up. 2 years later, I bought a house for my mom. Because we never had a house in our name. We lived from apartment to apartment. So for all the sacrifices she made, it was for me the least of it, and it was non-negotiable. That's when the problem started with my wife, then girlfriend. She wanted me to think about us first. I told her that my dream had always been to buy my mom a house since I was little, and that's what I had to do. But she complained about it to my mom. My mom didn't even know that I bought a house for her, as it was supposed to be a surprise for her birthday. She was uncomfortable of receiving the house because of my wife, and told me that it wasn't necessary that we could use it for us when we get married. I was furious. I told my mother that the house was for her and she could do with it whatever she wanted, but it was time for her to think about herself first. Our relationship survived that. We got married and then we had our own house. Our life was going well until 2 months ago when my mother fell ill. I wanted her to come and live with us so that I could take care of her, but my wife didn't want to. I then decided to rent an apartment with my own money right next to our house so that I could be close to her and go there to take care of her. But even that idea didn't sit well with my wife. Me and my wife don't have children yet. We both work. I usually come home at 6 p.m. But since my mother is sick, I go to see her and then come home around 8 p.m. On weekends, I see her for about 1 or 2 hours, and then the rest of the time I spend with my wife. We go on dates and I always accompany her in her hobbies even though she never went to mine. 2 days ago, she told me that she thought about it and she thinks that I prioritize my mom way too much. She told me that I had to choose between my mother and the life that I want to build with her. The truth is that I never made her feel that way. We both work, but I'm the one who cooks, and I pay a person to do the housework. I make sure I make the dishes that she likes. She didn't even know what I like to eat because I never complain. I run her baths, give her massages, flowers, write her poems that I hide somewhere in the house for her to find out. We go on a trip 1 week in a month. I earn much more money than her. I told her to keep her money for herself, and I take care of all the bills, even hers. I always make sure to listen to her and consider her opinion. And I think that I'm easygoing because I can change my mind to accommodate hers. But I realize that she tries completely to dominate me, and the only subject where I don't give her a choice is my relationship with my mother. Am I in the wrong for canceling a vacation because my wife can't pay her share after helping her adult son and ex-husband? My wife, 44, makes quite a bit less than me, 45 male, so our joint expenses are split 70-30. To clarify, she contributes 30% of her pay to our joint expenses, bills, utilities, emergency funds, retirement. 70% of her pay she keeps for personal expenses to spend or save how she wishes. Dates, vacations, and fun things we choose to do together are budgeted and planned based on what we can afford from our personal funds. Pool that money together, then pay together. For the most part, things like vacations and where we bought a house are decided based on what she can afford. But there have been several times I've paid in full for vacations to places I really enjoy and want to share the experience with her. She has a 23-year-old son from her previous marriage. When she and I got together, I told her that I wouldn't mind paying for extra things here and there until her son was 18 and working or in school so she could take care of him. For the majority of our relationship, he's lived with his father. He decided against college or trade school and hasn't expressed any interest in starting to figure out a plan for the immediate future, let alone his life. He floats from job to job, and his father is pretty much the same since the kid graduated. Therein lies the problem. Every few months, they'll call her for a few $100s here and there. Sometimes it's her son calling for help, sometimes it's her ex-husband. This has caused her to be short on funds for our plans, or things she volunteered to cover on more than one occasion. Her reasoning when her ex is asking is that since her son still lives with him, she has to help him. I get that to a point. We were supposed to go on a vacation later this month. Nothing major or fancy, just some time away. We had agreed to split the costs, and all that was left to pay were the hotels, rental car, and some reservations. Her ex-husband called needing help getting his car out of impound and getting caught up on rent. Their son hasn't been able to get to work without the car because he doesn't want to ride a bike or take a bus. Almost $5,000 later, they're set up, but my wife told me that she can't pay for her portion of our vacation, so I told her that I was canceling it. She called me a heartless ass, that she's just taking care of her son and we've been arguing over it, but my stance is this. They're both able-bodied adults that keep making a series of life decisions that keep them at a standstill, like quitting jobs over little things, smoking, going out, and her always digging them out of their hole is starting to impact our lives more and more. And I didn't sign up for that. Am I in the wrong for canceling our vacation instead of just footing the entire cost myself? My sister managed to ruin 2 families' lives with her selfishness. Gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. 2 counts of it. She was so wasted that she doesn't even remember leaving the party that night. She was out partying again. No idea why. She failed nearly every single one of her university classes. She's never needed an excuse though. College for her has just been a free pass to party and run up a credit card bill. My parents have sheltered her from the minute that she could walk and have never made her face a single consequence for her actions. The last year has shown she has no motivation to work or do anything really. Just guilt my parents for money with promises of doing better next time. She crashed the car that my dad got her into a pool high on MDMA last fall. I told my parents that they need to take the car back. I told her that she needed to stop driving if she was high or drunk. I begged everybody to do something before she hurt someone. A mother and her child. That's the lives she ended up taking. I've heard she was married and had a young baby at home as well. My sister doesn't understand what she's truly done. That, or she doesn't care. My parents have convinced her that everything will be fine. Again, because they don't understand or care. They think that because she's 19, they won't throw her in prison. Because she's never been caught breaking the law before, she'll get a slap on the wrist or something. That she can bat her lashes and fake a cry and she'll avoid the big girl consequence for the mistake she made. She's looking at 20 years for this. I won't be sticking around to watch the courtroom drama play out. Me and my brother are cutting contact today. Am I in the wrong for being bothered by my pregnant wife's behavior? My wife, 29 female, is 3 months pregnant, and I, 35 male, have been married 4 years and dating 2 years prior. She hasn't been taking the pregnancy well, has nausea in the evening, and she's crying and complaining that I'm not doing enough. We both work in tough corporate jobs, and I also run a small business on the side, so generally very busy people. I'm very happy to help and do chores like washing up, vacuuming, cleaning, groceries without her asking. However, she has a way of requesting other things that really bothers me. She directly won't ask for something, she'll just make a statement like, the toilet smells, or the window is open, and expects me to follow through. If I don't catch on, she'll remember and complain to me that I'm substandard or not good enough for not doing what she wants. She says that I should know what she wants. Yesterday, I politely said that she can learn a better way to ask of things if she uses simple manners like please and thank you, and it'll make me want to help her even more. I also said that if she can't, I'll be less likely to want to help or be proactive with help. I said it doesn't cost much to say these things and it would benefit both of us. I try to have a mature conversation with her to listen and understand her position more. She bursted into tears saying that she's suffering, she won't change her behavior and that's her real self. She said because she's pregnant, she wishes I would just be a robot and do everything she says no matter how she says it because her job is to bear the child. She's sweet and polite to all her friends, family, and work colleagues, literally all the time even during pregnancy and periods. But as her husband, I get her real self, which is negative, demanding, distant, and always impolite. I asked her why she can't treat me like how she treats everyone else, to which she replies in her culture, husbands normally get treated this way. She's East Asian. She even said that she would have married someone from East Asia and regrets marrying me because of my Western upbringing because I can't take her negativity. I understand that she may have pregnancy hormones. If this was the case, I would accept and bear with this as a temporary, but she's been like this even before pregnancy. This negative version of her happens for 10 days before her period, as she's unpleasant to be around and I wait for the time that she becomes nice again. However, she's now like this 24/7 and is unavoidable. I've asked so many times in the past she should try learning to be more empathetic and nicer when she communicates. However, she refuses and makes no effort at self-improvement or even researching or Googling a topic. She's from an East Asian background and lived in a number of East Asian countries but is now settled with me in London. So, am I in the wrong for being bothered by her behavior while she's pregnant? Today I messed up by agreeing to watch my friend have sex. A few nights ago, I, 22 male, showed up at my friend's 25 male flat to watch him have sex with his girlfriend, 22. It was an unforgettable experience for all the wrong reasons. Sleeping together in front of someone else was a fantasy my friend and his girlfriend wanted to explore. My name was apparently the only name that managed to get 2 unanimous votes for my friend and his girlfriend during their selection process. I leaned towards saying no when my friend offered me the uncomfortable position of being the other person, but I accepted the role because my friend played his "you owe me" card and it made it sound like it would be over in less than 10 minutes. I had one job: enjoy the show, but without touching my friend or his girlfriend. My presence was my only purpose. When I entered my friend's bedroom and approached my designated chair, I was prepared for an awkward night. My friend and his girlfriend are attractive people, but I've never been keen to see them naked, let alone sexually active. As soon as the kissing and touching turned into stripping and sucking, I was struggling to contain my laughter. It was a nervous reaction that was out of my control due to an unusual situation that was also unintentionally funny. Exhibit A: my friend was quiet. too quiet. Mimes made more noise than him. Exhibit B. My friend's girlfriend must have been under the impression that I was a talent scout, because literally any random touch from my vocally challenged friend, like his knuckle brushing against her knee or whatever, would prompt her to bite her bottom lip and moan like she was tasting a delicious dish for a television commercial. My friend was unable to get a pivotal part of his anatomy to rise to the occasion because he was focused too much of his attention on me when he noticed that I was fighting the urge to laugh. I did my best to avoid eye contact since I was supposed to be watching something purposefully hot, not accidentally hilarious. Mid-BJ, my friend asked me what was so funny. I apologized and said that my reaction was nothing more than nervous laughter, which was 90% true. The other 10% was me trying not to laugh at my friend for being dead quiet while his girlfriend was gunning for the best over-the-top performance at the Academy Awards. When my friend's girlfriend realized that I was indirectly distracting my friend, she unexpectedly wiggled my friend's flaccid penis and said, "Erecto Patronum." That broke me. I laughed uncontrollably. My friend got annoyed and said, "Look what you've done." I thought he was talking to his girlfriend, but it quickly became clear that he was actually talking to me. Based on his feedback, my childish reaction motivated his girlfriend to incorporate inappropriate Harry Potter humor when he was feeling vulnerable. He blamed me for everything that didn't go according to plan, including the fact that he was struggling to get it up. By the time he was done branding me the bad guy, he was dressed and no longer interested in continuing. I apologized again and explained that it was never my intention to laugh or become a distraction. It was involuntary. My friend suggested that we continue the conversation the next day. That was 3 days ago. My friend is still not responding to my messages or answering my calls. I get that I should have done a better job at being serious, but I don't understand how all of this is on me though. Am I in the wrong for liquidating my daughter's college fund to keep our dream house? I, 50 female, lost my husband 4 years ago. I also have a 16-year-old daughter. My late husband left me everything and told me to trust his lawyer. My husband had worked for 20 years as a doctor and did some minor investing, so I inherited over 7 figures. A year later, I decided to list our home of 12 years and received an offer too good to refuse. With the inheritance as well as the influx of cash from selling the house, I decided to move my daughter and I to Malibu because we always dreamed of a home next to the beach, but my husband was exceptionally tight-fisted and called homes there money pits. We found a beautiful home by the sea. I never personally handled anything regarding buying a home before, so I didn't anticipate all the extra costs beyond the sticker price. But my daughter was so excited, so I decided to go for it. My late husband's lawyer was furious at my decision, so I decided to stop taking his calls. I ended up signing with a money manager who said that we'd be passively earning 90% of what surgeons earn per year. But the money manager ended up tanking a lot of our investments. I took the dwindling money out and made my own investments, which made it worse, and long story short, because of all of that, I only have around $35,000 available to me now. Not to mention our debts. With the amount available to me, I'm looking at only being able to pay 1 month of mortgage and upkeep, and then I'm basically out of luck until my business gets clients. However, the place where we do have a significant amount of money is the fund that my husband started for our daughter. With the money there, I could prevent our credit cards from being shut down and not have to worry about the mortgage for many, many months. So I ended up liquidating my daughter's college fund. I told her about it today and she was furious and said that she can't believe all of her dad's work is gone. She also said that she won't be supporting me for retirement. So